Okay, so you send over a bunch of articles on the Canadian crypto scene, and it's, well, let's just say it's kind of giving off some mixed signals.
Yeah, it really is a tale of two banking systems, right? Like you've got this stark contrast,
Yeah.
between institutions like ATB going all in on crypto, and then on the other hand, the big banks just seem to be totally stuck in risk aversion mode.
Yeah, it's almost like Canada can't quite decide if it wants to be a crypto haven or just like a fortress of financial tradition.
And all of this is happening, against this backdrop of like heightened global tensions, like the US slapping tariffs on Canadian goods and like the aftershocks of FTX
Right.
still rippling through the entire crypto world.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. So let's try to break it down
Yeah,
and figure out what it all means for the future of crypto in Canada.
sounds like a plan. So where do we want to start?
Well, I think we got to start with the elephant in the room, right? Those big Canadian banks. Why are they so hesitant to even touch crypto,
Right.
even when smaller players like ATB are actually reaping the benefits?
Yeah, their caution is understandable to a point, for sure. I mean, the FTX meltdown was a major wake-up call
Right.
for the whole financial world. The volatility of crypto obviously makes traditional institutions nervous. Plus, Canada's big six banks, they control like 90% of federally regulated bank assets.
Wow.
So their decisions have this massive ripple effect.
So they're basically just afraid of making one wrong move
Yeah.
that could destabilize the whole system.
Exactly. They're operating under this better safe than sorry mentality. But the question is this caution stifling innovation and preventing Canada from becoming a major player in the crypto space?
Especially when you consider that the Canadian government is actually pushing for tighter crypto regulation.
Right.
They're requiring all crypto platforms to now register as investment dealers.
Yeah.
So theoretically, that should make the banks more comfortable, right?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But even with these new regulations, the big banks are still dragging their feet. Darcy Dobrez, who's the CFO of Bitcoin miner Hive Digital Technologies, he put it perfectly. He said, increased regulation may not change their risk aversion.
So it's not just about rules and regulations then. It's about this fundamental mindset.
Precisely. And this is where ATB Financial comes in. And they offer a stark contrast to the big bank's reluctance.
So ATB is government-owned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're based in Alberta.
That's right. And they've been quietly building a reputation as a crypto-friendly institution for over 6 years now,
Wow.
way before the 2021 boom.
So while the big banks were busy turning their noses up at crypto.
ATB was laying the groundwork.
Exactly.
Right.
They saw the potential early on, and they started building relationships with crypto businesses, offering them the financial services they desperately needed.
And it seems like this strategy is actually paying off big time. I read that some companies actually relocated to Alberta
Oh, yeah?
just to access ATB services.
Absolutely. It became a bit of a crypto haven, with companies flocking to Alberta to take advantage of ATB's open door policy. Wow. And this aligns perfectly with the Alberta government's goal of generating $3.5 billion in revenue from the crypto and tech sectors by 2030.
It's a bold vision for sure.
Yeah.
And ATB is playing a key role in making it a reality. It's proof that embracing innovation, even in a volatile sector like crypto, can have significant economic benefits.
So you've got this fascinating dynamic playing out, ATB leading the charge, the big banks playing it safe, and then the government trying to strike this balance
Okay.
between fostering innovation and protecting consumers.
It's a real-time case study in how traditional finance is grappling with the rise of crypto, and it raises some important questions about Canada's future in this rapidly evolving landscape.
Indeed. So if ATB is like the poster child for crypto adoption in Canada, what exactly are they doing that's so different from the big banks? What services are they offering? And what kind of impact is this having on the Alberta crypto scene? Well, ATB is essentially providing a lifeline to crypto businesses that are struggling to access traditional banking services. They're offering things like business accounts, payment processing, and even loans, all tailored specifically to the needs of the crypto industry.
It's huge, right? And they're also actively engaging with the crypto community, going to conferences, sponsoring events, and really building those relationships that are so crucial in this space.
So they're not just offering services, they're becoming like a true partner to these businesses,
Absolutely.
helping them navigate this complex world of finance.
Exactly. And that's a major differentiator from those big banks, which again tend to have a more hands-off, arm's-length approach.
And what kind of impact is this having on the Alberta crypto scene? I mean, are we seeing a surge in startups and investment?
Oh, absolutely. Alberta is quickly becoming this magnet for crypto entrepreneurs and investors. The combination of ATB's support And the government's, pro-crypto stance is creating a very attractive environment.
So it seems like ATB's approach is having this ripple effect,
Yeah.
not just on individual businesses,
Yeah.
but on the entire regional economy.
For sure. And this brings us to a very interesting point of comparison. The United States, under the second Trump administration, the U.S. has taken a decidedly pro-crypto stance.
Right, Trump has been pretty vocal about his support for blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies.
And this has led to a more open regulatory environment in the U.S., which has attracted significant investment and innovation.
But here's the irony. Despite Canada and the U.S. typically having, closely aligned economic policies, Canada's big banks are lagging behind their American counterparts when it comes to crypto adoption.
It's a bit of a paradox, right? You'd expect Canada to be following the U.S.'s lead, especially given the potential economic benefits, but instead we're seeing this divergence in approaches.
And it's not just about banking either.
Right.
We also have to consider the impact of global political tensions, particularly the recent trade dispute between Canada and the U.S.
Absolutely. Trump's tariffs on Canadian goods have definitely injected a dose of uncertainty into the market. And we saw cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum take a hit when those tariffs were announced.
Yeah. Thankfully, Trudeau was able to secure a temporary pause on those tariffs,
Right.
which helped stabilize the market. But that underlying tension remains.
It does, and it highlights the vulnerability of the crypto market to geopolitical events. It's a reminder that crypto doesn't exist in a vacuum, and external factors can have a significant impact.
So you've got this internal struggle within Canada's banking system with ATB pushing for adoption and the big banks holding back.
Yeah.
And then you've got these external pressures from
Right.
global politics and trade wars. It's a lot.
It's a complex web of interconnected factors, and it makes it very difficult to predict the future of crypto in Canada.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape.
It's a very apt analogy. I like that. But despite all this uncertainty, there are some key takeaways that we can glean from this situation.
Absolutely. So what are some of the lessons we can learn from Canada's crypto conundrum? I mean, for starters, it's clear that the crypto landscape is evolving at like breakneck speed. What might have seemed like a fringe movement a few years ago is now a force to be reckoned with.
And this rapid evolution is putting traditional institutions like banks in a tough spot. They're grappling with how to balance the potential benefits of crypto with the risks involved.
Yeah, it's a classic tale of like innovation versus regulation. And Canada is finding itself right at the heart of this global debate.
The contrast between ATB's proactive approach and the big banks', cautious stance highlights the different paths that are available. It's almost like a real-time experiment playing out.
And the outcome of this experiment will have huge implications, not just for the financial sector, but for Canada's overall economic competitiveness.
Exactly. Will Canada seize the opportunity to become a crypto hub? Or will it fall behind as other countries embrace this emerging technology?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But I think what's most fascinating about this situation is that it's not just about economics. It's also about mindset.
You're absolutely right. ATB's success is as much about their willingness to embrace change and adapt to a new paradigm as it is about their specific services.
Yeah, they're not afraid to take risks, to experiment, to learn as they go. And this agility is what's giving them an edge in the rapidly evolving crypto space.
It's a valuable lesson for any institution, whether it's a bank, a government agency, or even a small business. In a world that's changing faster than ever, adaptability is key.
So while the future of crypto in Canada remains uncertain, one thing is clear. Those who are willing to embrace innovation and adapt to the changing tides will be the ones who thrive.
And those who cling to the old ways of doing things risk being left behind. It's a choice that every institution and indeed every country will have to make.
So where does this leave you as you navigate this ever-changing world of cryptocurrency? Hopefully this deep dive has given you some food for thought and a better understanding of the complex forces at play.
It's definitely a dynamic situation that requires, careful consideration and a willingness to embrace the unknown. But as we've seen from ATB's example, the rewards can be substantial for those who are bold enough to take the leap.
Well said. And as always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of crypto. We'll continue to explore these fascinating and complex issues in future episodes, so stay tuned.
It's been a pleasure unraveling this Canadian crypto conundrum with you. Until next time.